guys, welcome to Vlogmas Day 2. Amazing. So today I want to talk about family traditions back in the days. I want to just run you through what a typical December was like for us back in the days. So typically Christmas used to start I can't remember the time. I can't remember. Okay, no, I remember. We used to go for shopping. Yes, meanwhile, Christmas clothes back then. No, not even meanwhile. Christmas clothes back then was a big thing. I think it was even in this generation, coupled with a lot of financial education, financial intelligence talk that has made people over the time just, give up the whole idea of Christmas dress. But even, I think some people still practice it. But back then, it was a big thing. Like, my mom used to spend money on making sure that we looked really good. Tailors used to make the best of, used to really cash out December period, and then they'll make some clothes. For us girls, were these very beautiful princess-like gowns. My mom will make the same design for me and my sister, so we'll basically look alike. My brother will be different, and then we had clothes for New Year, we had clothes for Christmas, and I think one other clothes. Of course, new clothes, we had other ones that we've had, but we had one specifically for Christmas, or about 3 plus 1 for Christmas. And I remember back then, at about 22nd, 23rd, we'll start the journey. So I had uncles, aunties, so my house used to be filled with people. So I remember that typically going to the village would require more than one journey. There was a time we had a Jeep, and then we had a 505, and so we would run between, and then we had, my dad would drive, my uncle had 2 people mainly who could drive, cars then. So my uncle will go, my dad and my uncle were the major people who could drive. So my uncle a lot of times would take the 505, we used to call it 55 then my dad will go with the Jeep. It was more of the very old edition of Range Rover, and then we'll pack our stuff in the car, and then people go in batches. Of course, some people wanted to go as a first batch, but the thing about going as a first batch is that you join them to clean the house. But me, I like to go last. I don't know why. I think it's not today I started doing this thing, and usually the last person to go will be my dad, and I'll just enjoy that ride with him. I used to be daddy's girl, and we'll stay in the car. I will stay in the balance in the back like madam. You will sometimes make food for me or buy stuff for me, but it was always fun. And then there's this particular event that we have in our place every 3 years. It's called the Ezumezu. It's a time when they also celebrate people who are in a certain age bracket and ask them to retire. I've never been for that, but they do that. So usually on the Ezumezu, a lot of people who would usually come back. And then I remember we'll go around places as early as my early teens, I just started to notice that some guys, their purpose, their aim of coming back to the village is to come and see who they will befriend. Jesus Christ. So we'll go to people's house, we'll come to our houses, and then on 25th we have like a Christmas, Christmas rice on 25th. It usually used to be amazing. Like, the taste was out of this world with big chicken, the same thing with first. And then I remember, I don't know who sold us this line, but then I now heard that's how you want to behave for the rest of the year. You have to behave like that on the 1st of January. Like, if you can behave like that on the 1st of January, you automatically behave like that for the rest of the year. Oh boy, I said, okay, I'm in for it. I tried that thing for like 5 consecutive years. I kept failing. The one that pained me was the one I failed by 9 p.m. Around 9 p.m. in the night. I was like, I've been perfect since morning. What's me of this rubbish now? But over that, I sincerely believed it. And it's crazy. I sincerely believed it. Okay, fine. It was not late that I told myself that, wait, I've been deceiving myself. Like, I think when I snapped out of that thing, it was not even too long ago. Maybe some 14 years ago or 12 years ago. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, that was what your girl was believing. And on the first, we usually will do crossover service. I'm trying to remember what our crossover services were like growing up, but I remember very well that we'll go to church on the first, and then, there's this church, Presbyterian Church of Iberi. We used to go there, a lot, and then a lot of family visiting and the rest. I remember everybody had their role, like I said in the first video. My uncle used to buy fireworks, and I also remember that my uncle used to bring shaye. both, okay, drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, even though he tended more towards alcoholic. Then we had aunties who were in charge of the kitchen department. We had aunties who needed to make sure that everybody took their baths. You know, the kids took their bath and we were dressed. So their work was to make sure the kids took their bath and we were dressed, and the kids were called together to eat, organize everybody. By second, third, fourth, people start going back to their various places. And I remember that it was usually a bittersweet moment, because people would get into the car and then all of us would gather downstairs, we tell them bye 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 bye. But yeah, that's what Christmas was like. How are we doing it now? A lot of us are spread out. I mean, life, economy and everything, jackpot and all that. So we decided to do a situation that we recreate things. We decided to do yearly Christmas meetings. No, not more like get together, not Christmas actually, it's on the 1st. In the evening on the 1st, and then we get around and do quizzes or ask ourselves questions and we have fun. And I think it's really been great. I mean, it's not even in any way as beautiful as what we had back then, but it's better than nothing. That is it. That was what Christmas tradition was for us back then. How's Christmas tradition, and what are you doing most importantly to make a tradition? Create a tradition, something that your family will enjoy. Yesterday I talked about how I want to make this Christmas enjoyable. So on one of my next videos, not tomorrow, but one of my next videos, I'm going to share on how I'm creating a Christmas tradition for my own nuclear family. This video is about how Christmas was like growing up and what we are doing now in the place of it, which doesn't match in comparison, but is better than nothing. You know, what we're doing now in this age where a lot of us are all over the world. But then in that video, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing to create memory for my children, because those memories were beautiful. I want to create something for my children. Of course, it's not going to be exactly the same, but something that in the future they will talk about. But hopefully we'll keep that memory for a longer time, find a way to preserve it. But that's in the future. Let's create the memory first. All right, take care. See you tomorrow.